If there is anything that needs to be satirized and remixed, it is Trump talking about massive dumps. And by the way, extra points, if you can sample Trump saying massive dumps and me talking about it in a song, please do it.
Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump, dump, dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump, dump, dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump,
won.
dump, dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps.
Donald Trump insisted multiple times that it was massive dumps that led him to lose the election, which is just
on another level, on another level.
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump,
won.
dump, dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump,
won.
dump, dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps.
You turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea, because you could have people are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once.
All right, welcome everybody. What an exciting day. Truly, truly something to be, the only really exciting things going on right now, I would say, are space exploration, vaccines, and watching Bitcoin. I mean, honestly, like what else is there right now? And we are standing by. Look at that. Absolutely perfectly timed. The landing of the NASA Perseverance Mars rover scheduled for today. The actual landing time is an hour and 40 minutes from now. Now I know, or 35. Wait, no, 40. Yeah. A lot of people, I think, are going to be interested in this, and I'm so glad to have something positive to cover. We're going to learn about the Perseverance rover. We may even take your phone calls. We're continuing on with the earlier stream. Instead of starting at 0, we're already starting at 24. So hopefully we'll open up some phone lines as we wait for the landing. I think it's going to be a great, great afternoon. It is or morning, or night, depending on where you're joining us, I guess. All right. It looks like the program here is about to start. And we want to make sure. Whoa.
The countdown to Mars continues.
Wow.
Perseverance of humanity, launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the red planet.
By the way, how amazing is it that Joe Biden got us to Mars in under a month as president? Isn't that unbelievable? That's just, it's really, really incredible. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, the Perseverance rover was launched in July of 2020. It had nothing to do with Trump nor Joe Biden. That's just a joke. Hapa says, anyone truly interested in planets? Astrology. You mean astronomy, right? Or maybe you do mean astrology. Okay. Anyone truly interested in planets, astrology, space station, satellite activity, can't name them all here, should get the Skyview app. Really amazing. Yes. Let's see what's happening.
Welcome to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. We are gearing up for NASA's Perseverance rover to touch down on Mars. Happening in an hour and a half from now, the rover will attempt to land in Jezero Crater. It is the most difficult landing site on Mars ever attempted. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Raquel Villanueva. In the past, mission team members gathered in our mission control for landings.
Wow.
But this time around, we have COVID safety measures in place. Today's landing will look a little different than what you've seen before. I am in a room by myself, and so is my co-host. Here in the Spaceflight Operations Facility, team members are in different parts of this building. Some are in mission control, others are upstairs for landing operations. We also have isolated rooms for our guests on this show.
Love it.
In total, we have 8 locations covered by 14 robotic cameras that you will be seeing. One of those locations is the dark room, the heart of NASA's Deep Space Network. Think of it as a giant communication switchboard. This is where spacecraft phone home to us from across the solar system and interstellar space. The Deep Space Network has been tracking Perseverance since it left Earth, and there are lots of ways you can watch landing today. We have a 360-degree camera inside the control room. It lets you experience the landing right along with the team while seeing this broadcast. We also have the clean feed. It shows an uninterrupted view of mission control and audio.
Clean.
También tenemos un programa en español.
En español.
To tell us about it is host Diana Trujillo, who also works on the mission.
Thank you, Raquel. We're so excited to be the sister live broadcast in Spanish. Sintonízate nuestro programa en las redes sociales de Twitter, YouTube y Facebook en la NASA en español para que nos acompañes a un tour virtual de la NASA con entrevistas con astronautas, con participación de artistas, con entrevistas con científicos e ingenieros de Perseverance, con Plaza Sésamo y mucho más. Te esperamos.
Nice.
Gracias, Diana. And don't forget, we want to see how you are watching the landing today. Use the hashtag Countdown to Mars to send us your photos and videos. To preview what interviews are coming up is my co-host from the JPL News office, Maria.
So this is great stuff. So since we have time, let's get some background on the Mars rover. Now, of course, anytime we talk about Mars, we are required to play this historic American moment where Donald Trump brought the world together by announcing if he were to get a second term, we would go to Mars. Remember this?
America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
There it is, Donald Trump doing what no one else was willing to do, telling us we would go to Mars under his leadership. And a shame that we didn't get that opportunity, but Mars is going to have to do. The Perseverance rover, I actually have a lot of informational elements here. Perseverance, nicknamed Percy, is a car-sized rover designed to explore Jezero crater, manufactured by the JPL, launched on 30 July 2020, scheduled to land today, 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 20:55 UTC. It carries 7 specific instruments and boasts braggadociously a total of 19 cameras and 2 microphones. The rover, one of those microphones is always on speakerphone. That's the only thing we have to remember. So when we start getting audio back, it is going to be really annoying. Like when I take phone calls, one of the microphones always on speaker. The rover carrying the helicopter Ingenuity, an experimental aircraft that will attempt the first powered flight on another planet. This is really exciting stuff. The helicopter is in the rover. The rover will land, and then we will have a chopper on Mars. Can you imagine? So this is going to be very, very exciting. This was not cheap. NASA plans to invest $2.75 billion over 11 years. Including $2.2 billion for the development and build of the hardware, $243 million for launch, $291 million for operating the missions for 2.5 years. This, inflation adjusted, is NASA's 6th most expensive robotic planetary mission, cheaper than its predecessor, the Curiosity rover. What a day. What a day. And we are standing by now about 1 hour and 34 minutes away from the scheduled landing. Reportedly, they are going to pay for some of this with Dogecoin, as we heard from a Republican member of Congress earlier during the Robin Hood hearings, which I am still monitoring, by the way. It really was going nowhere. But Dogecoin always in play, and something that we might be looking at some point in the future. All right, let's see what's on everybody's minds here. Glad to be tuning in via cyber for the NARS coverage and elements of space. Yeah, we are delivering today's presentation cyberly, and I'm glad that that's going on. Carpetbagger wants to know if I've yet acquainted myself with Gritty. I have not. Fred says hello from France. Very much appreciate that. Caleb Horn says hello from League City, Texas. My power came back on last night. Good. Longest 3 days of my life huddled around the fireplace during that time. No broken pipes, and we moved our fridge outside to save food. Horrible what is going on. And unfortunately, your Senator Ted Cruz is in Cancun, Mexico. And our friend Aaron Rupar at Vox has been following this. Ted Cruz, once he got caught fleeing the U.S. for Mexico, claimed that he was just going for like 20 hours. And that's a lot of luggage for 20 hours. I don't know. I mean, listen, I pack basically the same for 3 days as for 14 days. I bring a rollerboard and a backpack. But 20 hours, I don't think I need that much stuff. So then, wait, what was the statement they put out? Here is the statement. With school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends, wanting to be a good dad. I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. My staff and I are in constant communication, blah, 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 blah. Fox was able to confirm that Ted Cruz did travel to Cancun. What a clown. What an absolute and total clown. But that is the latest with Ted Cruz. So I'm glad to hear that you are... that your power is back on. Let's see if I can also find the NASA clean feed. Here is the NASA clean feed. The feed we have here is very, very dirty. So we also want the clean feed. So we have all feeds. This one includes presentations from NASA. This is just the clean feed of Mission Control. So we have all feeds all the time for our viewers. And we're going to keep an eye on all of this. Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, other super chats coming in. David, thanks for covering this. NASA's one of the most important things the government does. Progress in spaceflight is progress as a species. Absolutely. It's a Mars Hess truck. Right. It carries its own chopper. Do you use hairline retention pills or something like that? What's your opinion on that kind of stuff? No. You know, I am actually starting to think that I may be having problems with my hair. I'm looking very, very closely when I shower. I start to think that right here, it's not that it's receding. I've always had this hairline, but I'm starting to wonder if this front area is getting a little bit sparse. And, but no, to date, I've not used any of these elements. My brother is completely bald. He went bald at age 20. So as you can imagine, it is not the most exciting thing to see that and then wonder what's going on. But no, I'm keeping a very close eye on it. I have no moral issues with any kind of hair retention techniques or products whatsoever, but I have not availed myself of them at this time. David, I'm here for Kuato's reveal on NARS. Yeah, I'm standing by for it. Evolutionary biologist here working in the field of astrobiology. Today's just another step towards finding some extraterrestrials already. Well, it's exciting in many ways. Here's Simon Cowell's brother, who apparently is a highly placed operative in the Perseverance rover. That's a joke, by the way. Chakaseki asks, is there anyone Ted won't throw under the bus? First his wife, his father, and now his kids. Yeah, Ted's a disgusting, disgusting guy. Huge thank you to Betsy Fate Brother. Betsy Fate Brother just signed up at joinpacman.com. And Hassan Chwaib also signing up at joinpacman.com. Those are new members 25 and 26. And the coupon code is in play. It is absolutely in play today. All right. We have a view of what's happening at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory at Cal Institute of Technology. This is a medium light roast. People asking about my coffee. Okay, let's hear what's going on at NASA.
Whether they're ready to turn off the transmitter to Perseverance. Turning off the transmitter is like taking your hands off of the wheel. At this point forward, Perseverance would be on her own to execute entry, descent, and landing over 500,000 lines of code. Let's listen in.
Okay, and we just seem to have lost video. The clean feed is working fine, so it appears to be on their end and not ours. That's very interesting.
Transmitter to Perseverance. Turning off the transmitter is like taking your hands off of the wheel.
This is weird.
At this point forward, Perseverance would be on her own to execute entry, descent, and landing over 500,000.
Is it going to freeze again?
Code. Let's listen in.
Oh my God, it looks like they're having a problem. Yeah, that's a real problem. Well, we've got the clean feed over here. Let's see if there's audio on it.
Propulsion.
Oh, they're back. Wow, this feed having major problems. Let's switch to the clean feed for now,
Engineer.
which is very low.
Chief is go. Project manager. Projects go. Mission manager. All stations are go for transmitter off.
Wow.
Copy flight. Go for transmitter off. Ace flight. Flight Ace, go ahead. Please perform the transmitter off at 1935 UTC. Ace copy.
Oil 1, TAD 1, back on net.
Wow.
Stations note that this action will force the SDST into one-way coherent mode. Loss of telemetry for less than 90 seconds is expected.
Oil, this is TAD 3, permission to stop sharing.
TAD 3, you're going to have to speak up, sorry.
Oil, this is TAD 3, permission to stop sharing.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, you can stop sharing. Thank you for putting that up.
Oil 1, this is TAD 1.
Go.
Did he say Chad 1? That's interesting. Okay, looks like they are back up and running here.
The sample return phase, in which we're not only looking around, looking at the geology, but really turning our rover into a robotic geologist and astrobiologist, collecting samples that we will bring back to Earth. And for us, of course, those are where the best laboratories are of all of humanity. Some of them still remain to be explored by some that are not yet in the science community yet. And that's what we're looking forward to. It's that new phase. The other element that I want to talk about is the amazing technologies that are there. And of course, one of my favorites is the Ingenuity helicopter, this in search of this extraterrestrial
The
Wright
chopper.
brothers moment, controlled flight for the first time elsewhere, Raquel.
Great. And we have a student question on video for you from Macy.
Hi, my name is Macy Ragsdale. My question is anything alive on Mars? Thank you.
Well, Macy, I'm so glad for your question. That's a question I ask myself. Is anything alive there? And frankly, at the surface where we're going right now with Perseverance, we do not believe there's anything alive right there because of the radiation that's there. It's chilling, cold, and there's really no water there. But guess what? We think that 3 billion years ago, this looked like a stream that you may see on Earth. And frankly, a lot more similar than Earth, with water with a magnetic field, just like the Earth with an atmosphere. And the question is,
she's going to reclaim her time. She wanted a yes or no answer on that one, and she is certainly not getting it. The only caravan in Mexico I'm worried about are the Cruz family. Well said. Q says the Martians rigged the election. They're also asking for donations to build a space wall around Earth to keep out Martian caravans. Do you think we'll find Ted hiding on Mars after running from the media in Cancun? A lot of Mars Ted Cruz stories being put together. Is there any? Oh, we already got that one from Chakaseki. Very, very nice. Yeah, this is really exciting stuff. This is the forefront of human ingenuity and science, and pushing the limits of what humans as a species have done. So we've got quite a day ahead of us. This is a NASA feed involving interviews and different commentary. We also have as a backup a clean feed, as I like to call it, where we will be able to switch if there are continued problems with the commentary feed, and the commentary feed will dip in and out of that clean feed. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. And if you're just joining us, we are down to the last hour and 24 minutes before the scheduled landing of the Perseverance rover on Mars. This rover was launched on July 30th, 2020, and it is scheduled to land in an hour and 23 minutes. And NASA has the unique ability to schedule landings a year in advance, down to the minute. Very interesting. And this, not a year in this case, 6 months in advance. Did I hear about the now former mayor of Colorado City, Texas? Politicians and power generation companies owe you nothing. Yeah, we covered that yesterday on the award-winning bonus show. Awards we give out, but they're awards nonetheless. And the guy's a joke, and I'm glad to see that he has indeed resigned. And that's a good thing. That is a very, very good thing. Thanks to Mueller Probe, as well as Hitachi, Deflated Brady, and many others for the Twitch subs. 6 of you have signed up. I really appreciate that. And that puts us at 32. Since we have a little while until the scheduled landing, I have made the commitment to open phone lines if we achieve our goal of 100. Getting us a little bit closer is Lucas Sorensen. Lucas just signed up at joinpacman.com. And excitingly, Lucas used the coupon code BETTER21 to sign up. Lucas is new member number 33. Now, what percentage? We're at 33 out of 100. Let me do okay. 3 divided by 10.0 carry through 33. That's 33% of the way to the goal and putting us solidly in play, I think, to achieve that number.
Follow Perseverance on its journey to the surface of the red planet with eyes on the solar system. From your desktop or mobile device, go to eyes.nasa.gov. Click on the banner, and now you're with Perseverance in real time through every step of EDL, entry, descent, and landing. This interactive experience lets you ride along from whatever perspective you choose. Click and drag, scroll in, scroll out. Check out the descriptions and explanations to increase your EDL expertise. Experience every entry, descent, and landing event
very exciting.
Designed and executed to land Perseverance safely on Mars. The EYES experience is based on predictive data, but during this broadcast, you'll see a different visualization called Ranger, and it's based on the real communication the team in Mission Control receives from Perseverance in near real time. This is the visualization the team will follow as data fills their screens while monitoring the health of Perseverance on its nerve-wracking course to another successful Mars.
So this is going to be quite a presentation. I am very excited to see exactly what happens here. Mission Control in California at JPL, very attentively following what is now a trip of many months that is down to its last hour and 20 minutes remaining. And it is going to be a great thing. Daniel says, if conservatives are against globalists, what will their attack be on the solar systemists involved with today's events? I tend not to care what right-wingers say about this type of stuff. They don't accept climate science. They don't accept virus science. Many, not all. Why do I care what they say about space science? If you could narrow it down, what do you think the root of the right's fear-mongering about trans people in particular is? I think the root at its core is religiously based, but even non-religious right-wingers have just sort of taken it as an opportunity to attack the left for what they describe as wokeism, and even if they are not personally religious. Caleb just described the Republican mission statement. Is this the Neil deGrasse Tyson Super Bowl? Yes, that's exactly what this is. Let's see. Someone claiming to be former producer Lewis is in the Twitch chat. Let me see if this is... oh, that's an Instaban. Yep, Lewis has a streaming account. They created their account 5 minutes ago, so that's an Instaban. That's too bad. They almost got away with it. But no, Lewis has a real account on Twitch, and that is not actually Lewis, so we've ban-hammered them. Very, very exciting. It's like people manage to get banned no matter what I'm doing. No matter what I'm doing, people manage to get themselves banned. It's really unbelievable. All right, let's listen in.
Finally, you may also hear Tango Delta Nominal, or touchdown nominal. That means we've touched down on the surface of Mars within the expected range of safe landing speeds.
Thanks for that breakdown. Now, this is your first Mars mission. What have you learned from this experience?
Yeah, one of my takeaways is that you can almost never be too careful when it comes to Mars. You definitely can't take Mars for granted. You know, we've checked and double-checked and triple-checked everything on our way to Mars. And, you know, even though we've done this once before using the sky crane technique on the Curiosity rover, you know, I think everyone's going to have everyone's going to hold their breath until we're on the surface of Mars this time around.
And we have a social media question coming in. Nor the Door on Instagram asks, how complicated is the automated landing sequence and who wrote the code?
Yeah, it's quite complicated. The automated landing software needs to do literally hundreds of things all on its own, just right with sub-second timing accuracy. And it's the result of many hundreds of people over many years, stretching all the way back to Curiosity, and then improved for the Perseverance landing today at Jezero Crater.
Great. Thanks for your time today, Matt, and good luck.
Supposedly the people who coded Grand Theft Auto had a big role to play in the landing today. That's a joke, by the way. That's a joke. Yeah, I'm just kidding around about that. Just a joke. David, have you heard of the documentarian Adam Curtis? He has a new BBC series about how society has become polarized. Highly recommend. I've heard of him. I'm not familiar with the documentary, but it sounds very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I would be interested in looking at that. If you are just joining us, today is the day where the Perseverance rover, which launched on the 30th of July last year, lands on Mars. Whoa, this is a little bit of an Eric the Actor vibe from Howard Stern fame. Did you guys see that? That's interesting. Scheduled for landing at 3:55 p.m. Eastern. That's just an hour and 17, now an hour and 16 minutes from now. The entire process is going to be visible to us through this NASA feed, and it's extraordinarily exciting to see. And we will all see it. We will all see it. Mission control feed. Let's see what's happening here. Very calm. Everybody's very calm. And NASA seemingly having bandwidth issues on all feeds. We've seen both feeds have problems, although not at the same time. And people in the chat reporting, here was the launch. People in the chat reporting they're experiencing the same thing. It does not appear to be my bandwidth issue. It appears to be a NASA bandwidth issue, plain and simple. This landing gives me the Expanse vibes. Have you heard of it? Of course. Of course. I interviewed one of the writers of The Expanse, and I saw season 1, although that's where I stopped. If people are interested in some good Mars fiction, I recently read the first of 3 books in Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy. The first one is called Red Mars, and I read that not long ago. It's not a new book. The entire trilogy has been out for a while, but I will be reading both sequels soon. Really, really great trilogy of books. I want to say thanks to Douglas Chambers. Douglas just grabbed a membership at joinpacman.com. Douglas, I really appreciate your support today. And this is stream number 2 for the day, and a lot of exciting things going on. For people curious, the Robin Hood hearings are still going on. Let's just take a brief listen, just a small dip in to see what's happening.
That is, I know numbers of people, personal friends who have never invested before, but because of Robin Hood and other retail platforms, many of them took the stimulus money that they received during the CARES Act, which they were still working, they didn't need, and they actually started an account and started investing. So yes, more and more people who
there seem to be crickets in the background
are now investing using these platforms. This hearing is a reminder that with complex situations, we should take time to understand what actually did or did not happen, especially with this GameStop situation. Now, the SEC is the proper authority to determine if any rules were broken, and they are looking into it. Congress has already given the SEC broad authority.
All right, so mostly just rather than questions, speeches from members of Congress continuing on, and we are going to keep an eye on that. But really, we are here because of the Perseverance rover. Just a reminder, because it's so funny. Remember, a innovative and a forward-looking Donald Trump promised to go to Mars if he were reelected.
America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
Now, we're not doing that today, but we do have something I think that's almost as exciting, which is that we are landing the Perseverance rover on Mars, bringing its own helicopter with it, if you can imagine. And that is just an hour and 13 minutes away. An hour and 13 minutes away. Really, really incredible stuff. Okay. Let's see. Do I have any ban adjudications to do? I do. I have one. By popular demand, I've ordered not a mallet. What am I talking about? A gavel that I will be banging when adjudicating Twitch unban requests in the future. I don't have it yet, but I will have it next week. In the meantime, I do have someone who wants to be unbanned. This is a user whose recent messages are, and you guys can help me adjudicate this, Trump 2020, Obama dropped blankets, Trump 2020, best presidential address I've ever seen, USA, USA, Trump 2020, Nancy needs another Xanax, still your president, Trump 2020, 4 more years, sore losers, retarded. And then they were banned after that. Their unban request is simply LMAO. So that's not even a serious unban request. That is going to be denied, and that is adjudicated a permaban on the David Pakman Show Twitch channel. That is it. The fake Louis Motomedy. Fake Louis Motomedy wants to be unbanned. Former known disorder triggered by... They're claiming that their real name is Louis Motomedy, but it's not the former producer. This is just a permaban, guys. It's just that's just it. It's ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, while we listen, I'm just going to text Louis just to ensure that's not him. I don't know if he's trolling me.
Which are great for the science community. That's exactly the type of features they're looking for to learn more about Mars. But they're all anti-hazards for us. And so we've had to add new technology to relevant navigation, which is the ability essentially to divert away from hazards. But we have taken this system through the same types of paces that we have in previous missions. We've used the same techniques, the same best practices for engineering verification. And in many cases,
these audio streams are terrible, 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 terrible. NASA really having tech issues here, and it's really too bad because it's just not good. And I'm seeing the chat even on the NASA stream, and everybody's saying that it's insanely laggy. Okay, Lewis confirming that he was not in the chat. Okay, someone impersonating, and we banned them, but then I wondered if it was actually you. All right, that was not producer Lewis, so that is going to be a permaban. Lewis would never be caught dead watching me on Twitch. That's what people need to understand. Instead of a gavel, can you do some light Judge Dredd? I don't know about that. Crypto gems. Okay, yeah, we're not promoting crypto. Yeah, we're not doing that. This land. Oh, we already did that one. Okay, good. All right, so no relevant or informative super chats at this point to take a look at, and that's absolutely and totally fine. Thanks to Tom the Tomb for the Twitch Prime sub. Very much appreciate that. Joe says, greetings from Portugal and Germany. We love your show. Keep on going, David. Thank you. It's such an exciting day to be here. And we are down to the last hour before this landing takes place. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it will go off without a hitch. I don't anticipate any problems. I know there's a lot of disaster porners they seem to almost like hope something goes wrong. But I think it's going to be absolutely fine. I don't expect any issues at all. Dariten says the problem with the NASA site is in the name .gov. Okay. Ferret Queen says keep it a mallet and call it Whack-a-Troll. Xian says I'm filibustering the next Troy York vote, 2/3 required. That's an interesting idea. Lately, we've been putting up whether I should play troll voicemails up to a vote, and I've been doing it by simple majority. But we could say that it really should be 60% support or 67% support. We could do that. What we would need to do is have a vote as to what the percentage should be, and then it becomes infinitely regressive, because then we should vote as to whether there should be a vote to decide what the threshold would be. And then we'll be here for the rest of time. David, are you interested in going on the first all-civilian flight crew for SpaceX's Inspiration 4? Anyone can go with a donation to St. Jude's. Let's look into that. SpaceX Inspiration 4 St. Jude donation. Let's see what's up with that. No, it's enter to win a seat. It's not anybody can go. It's enter to win a seat. That's a totally different thing. David, any chance of a wireless access point breakdown while we wait? Show Shapiro who the real OG beta male is. Yes, I know. I second the Judge Dredd idea, and Weaselways sending a $20 super chat. I very much appreciate that. Should I do the show live from space? Yeah, maybe. That's not a bad idea. Thanks to Alexis Castillo for signing up at joinpacman.com. You are new member number 35 today. And also thanks to our 5 additional Twitch subscribers. We're at 40. People demanding phone lines be opened. I'm open to opening phone lines before the landing. The landing is still 67 minutes away. But we do have a goal of 100 website members and Twitch subs, and I'm not going to relent on that. Because, then you just can't. You can't. I lose credibility if I do that. It took a lot of refreshing to get the NASA's Eyes website to work. Irritating, but once you get it, it's totally worth it. Let's see. NASA Eyes. Let's see if we can get that going. That's another visual element that NASA is providing. Oh, download an app. I don't think I'm going to download an app right now. Ooh, okay. So a lot of things going wrong there. Yeah, we're going to stay away from that. Don't worry. We're going to have plenty of interesting views and things here. Mars is the only planet we know of populated only by robots, and we put them there. I suppose that's true. I suppose that's absolutely accurate. At least that the government is public about. That's a more conspiratorial approach.
Ultra-high frequency, or UHF, signals from Perseverance. These orbiters relay these signals to deep space network stations on Earth, Madrid in Spain, and Goldstone in California. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, has reconfigured its software to perform a type of relay called bent pipe. This will provide us with near real-time telemetry during entry, descent, and landing.
Right.
We have coverage from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter from just before entry to a few minutes after landing. The telemetry we receive will be delayed by the time it takes light to travel from Mars to us back on Earth. Additionally, the Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution spacecraft, or MAVEN, is recording these UHF signals and will be relaying that recording hours after landing.
Wow.
MAVEN will be covering us from around the time of cruise stage separation until a few minutes after landing. We also receive what we call heartbeat tones, which are indications that the spacecraft is alive and progressing throughout entry, descent, and landing. It's important to note that while unexpected, we could lose our communication links and still land safely. Because Perseverance is doing entry, descent, and landing completely autonomously, she doesn't need our help to joystick the landing. The communication links give us added visibility.
Wow.
And you can see Chloe hard at work inside Mission Control right now. Perseverance's landing might look like the system the Curiosity rover used back in 2012.
Let's take a look. Yeah, people are recommending the Mark Rober video of the up close on the rover. Let's see if we can look at a little bit of that. Where do they actually go and look at it? Let's see here. Where is the up close? Does he actually get to the... Let's see here. Oh, it's not clear that he actually goes and looks at it in person. Oh, wait, is this? Oh, hold on. Here we go.
Responsibility. This is the rover.
The flight rover. It will be on Mars 12 months from now.
Wow.
It's so complex when you come up and get this close. In fact, Perseverance is the most complex thing humans have ever built and sent to another planet. It's got laser, X-ray, and radar capabilities, plus 19 cameras, and a nuclear-powered battery system for energy. And while it might look pretty similar to the past rover Curiosity, all the science instruments are completely different because the science objectives have changed. The most notable difference is this time the drill isn't there just to create rock dust to study on the rover. Perseverance has a hollow drill bit to core out a chunk of rock the size of a piece of chalk and then package it up and leave behind 43 separate samples for a future mission to collect and send back to Earth.
Wow.
That way we could study the samples for those past signs of life using the most state-of-the-art instruments on Earth that we could never fit on a rover. So then to capture that chalk-sized rock sample, not only is there an arm on the outside, but this time there's one on the inside too.
It is a miniature robot arm inside the body of the rover that manipulates the sample tube, and there's one right here.
Wow. And so is this what you leave behind?
Exactly.
Is it fair to say this is like the poop of the rover?
Exactly.
Okay. Do you like that analogy? Because they didn't like it earlier.
Yeah.
You like it? Okay, cool.
We do like to say that the rover is going to poop out samples.
Okay,
all over
good.
the
See, that's a good analogy. So Perseverance is really only the first leg of returning a piece of Mars to Earth. Future missions will complete what I like to call the poop, scoop, and shoot maneuver. This is my friend Liz, by the way, and she's in charge of all the testing for the sample retrieval system.
We're doing things that nobody else does, so we have to test it.
So she tests all sorts of different configurations in a chamber that recreates the extreme temperatures and pressures to make sure it will function on Mars. Because once you send something to space, it's gone, and you can't exactly fix it, so it just has to work, which is why testing is such a big deal here at JPL. My buddy Matt here mentioned another way this is done.
We build two spacecraft, one that goes to Mars and one that we keep here on Earth to test. And this is an exact replica of Curiosity, who's driving around on Mars right now. And then we use this one to test driving around obstacles and driving over rocks.
And he knows a thing or two about driving over rocks because he was a rover driver for both Opportunity and Curiosity. This guy is like one of maybe 40 people in the world who has driven a vehicle on another planet, which is kind of a big deal. And so a few more cool things about Perseverance are that it has a mini helicopter drone stowed away on its underbelly.
There it is.
Ingenuity. This will be mankind's first powered flight on another planet, which sort of makes this a Wright brothers moment. And the rover and the drone will get great footage of each other, but we're mainly testing it out so that in the future we might use drones to scout out terrain for us or get samples from hard to reach locations, or you could have swarms of drones carrying materials for humans from one site to another. Perseverance is also testing out a new instrument called MOXIE that basically amounts to a mechanical tree because its function is to convert CO2 into oxygen, which future explorers will need to breathe and for rocket fuel.
Interesting test.
Rover has been in this clean room for about a year and a half, starting as just a chassis, just the skeleton.
And then all the teams and engineers have been taking turns coming down and building up their part until it's done. In fact, I was in that exact position on Curiosity, designing my hardware for about 3.5 years, and when it was all tested and complete, integrating it on the rover right here in this room. And then for the other 3.5 years, like I mentioned before, I was working with Ben on a small team of engineers on the jetpack descent stage. So now we've covered the where and the why we're going, also the how we're gonna do all that with the rover. Now let's talk about the what, for what's gonna happen this Thursday when it lands and what you should expect to see. As I edit this video, the spacecraft is gliding toward Mars at a cool 48,144 miles per hour.
Strong speed.
It's this fast. It's 15 times faster than a bullet. It's traveling the length of 100 soccer fields in exactly this long. And it will keep on that trajectory until the big moment on Thursday when it starts its entry, descent, and landing, or EDL. It's also known as the 7 minutes of terror because we've literally got 7 minutes to get from the top of the atmosphere to the surface of Mars, going from 13,000 miles per hour to 0 in perfect sequence and perfect timing, and the spacecraft has to do it all on its own with no help from us on Earth. When it first hits the upper atmosphere, the friction causes the heat shield to start glowing like the surface of the sun, all the while thrusters are firing to steer and adjust its course towards the target location. And that aerobraking gets rid of 99% of the energy, so for the last 1%, we deploy a supersonic parachute. Then we've got to pop off the heat shield we no longer need, like removing a lens cap, so the radar can start viewing the ground. But even with the parachute, it's still traveling 200 miles per hour, which is way too fast to land. And so that's where we cut loose of the back shell and fire the rockets. But we can't quite land in this configuration because the rockets will kick up too much debris and damage the rover. So then we lower it from a 21-foot rope and gently land the rover on the surface as my sky crane zooms off to face an honorable, catastrophic ending as far away from the rover as its remaining.
Can you imagine?
And so in just 7 minutes, the spacecraft has completely metamorphosed.
Yeah, people, this is what's going to happen in 58 minutes. This is the process that's about to start, or I guess really in 51 minutes if it's a 7-minute process.
Shedding all its sacrificial elements until you're left with just a rover sitting alone, safely on the surface of Mars. Now, everything you just saw was a CGI animation, but a few days after landing, we'll all be blown away by actual HD landing footage from the 23 cameras and 2 microphones on board. We'll see the parachute inflate and hear the crunch of the aluminum wheels as they touch down and make contact with the Martian surface. And because Mars is so far away, to get a signal from the vehicle to our planet, it takes about 12 minutes at the speed of light. So that means after the spacecraft sends a signal that has reached the top of the atmosphere, by the time that signal reaches Earth to kick off the 7 minutes of tear, for at least 5 minutes, the vehicle has actually already been on the surface.
Wow.
Either alive or dead. Which is why it has to be autonomous. That means it makes all its own choices on the exact timing of things and where to steer without anyone from Earth controlling it. Which means all we can do is watch and monitor and hope.
Fascinating, fascinating stuff. And that's what awaits us just really just moments from now. I mean, we are standing by now. Scheduled landing is 57 minutes from now. And we are going to watch all of it happen. It is all coming up very, very soon. I'm glad that so many people are with us. I want to say thanks to Zach Watkins. Zach just signed up on my website, joinpacman.com, and is new member number 41 today. Today is a beautiful, perfect day to grab a membership on my website. Andrew quoting great former President Trump saying, Mars of which the moon is a part. Yeah, let's see. That's actually a good one. Let's see if I can find that. Trump, Mars, moon. I like that one. Well, no, that one's not it. Mars, moon, a part. Is that one on video? Now I don't remember.
Would advance beyond that, and I thought either would target Mars or why this? Why now?
Nope, that's not it. He may not have actually said that on video. Mars is part of the moon.
So hard on the kidney, very special. The kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing. People that have to go this, people that have loved ones that are working so hard to stay alive. They have to work so hard. There's an esprit de corps, there's a spirit like you see rarely on anything. So I just want to thank all of you folks for being here. It's really fantastic. And
I guess this is a different clip.
You've worked so hard.
So maybe we don't have to. Do we know? Did he say the moon and Mars are a part of it? I don't even know if that's actually on video. Yeah, it's not here. Maybe it's not something he ever actually said on video. I think it was a tweet, actually. If I'm recalling now, I think it was a tweet. Anyway, okay. That's okay. No big deal. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Other super chats coming in. Are Ted Cruz and his kids on board? I think only Ted Cruz is coming back from Cancun today. Yeah, as far as I know, it's just Ted. Yeah, that's a whole other story. I don't know if you guys have been following it, but Ted Cruz fled Texas yesterday while his constituents were without power to go to Cancun. He got caught, and then he claimed he was just going for a few hours. But he had a lot of luggage for a 20-hour trip. And it's all quite weaponized. Let me put it that way. No shortage of weaponization there. But he should be, we know he was standing by on the upgrade list for business class. So apparently he's going to be coming back very, very soon. Mika wants to know whether I've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes, I have, by Douglas Adams. I have read that. It's not like my favorite, to be perfectly frank, but a good book. A good book. It's just not I'm not that into like comedy books, I guess I would say. And there's a strong comedic element to it. I've never been as into the kind of comedy science fiction, but not a bad book at all. As we stand by. All right, a lot of people are joining and wondering what's going on. Here's what's going on. We are waiting for the the follow-up to the Curiosity rover, the Perseverance rover, to land on Mars. That is scheduled for 53 minutes from now. 53 minutes from now, it is scheduled to land on Mars. Now, because of the 12-minute delay, that's how long it takes light to get from Mars to Earth, we may not know, or we will not know, for that long what exactly happened. But we will eventually know, and that's what matters. All right? Okay. Live simulation with sensor data. Let's take a look at that. We've got, let's take a look at what we've got here. Oh, this is compelling. This says touchdown is only 16 minutes away. Is that right? I thought it was, so I guess they're running ahead of schedule. Live. Oh, no. Touchdown in 51. Oh, that was a simulation. I see. Okay. So live is, we are 51 minutes away. The next phase will be de-spin in 36 minutes. This is great stuff. This is absolutely great stuff. Live telemetry, my friends. Live telemetry. Yeah, they were able to make up a little bit of time with a tailwind. That's exactly right. Okay, excellent. 3:55 p.m. Eastern time is the scheduled landing, and we are getting very close to that. Very close to that. Thank you to Joe Biden that he got us to Mars so quickly. No other president would have been able to do it. That's a joke. Everybody relax. Please relax. Please. People are getting really mad at me. Big thanks to Brandon Quintana, who is new member number 42 today, signing up at joinpacman.com. Howard says, if you want a mind trip, watch Why the Speed of Light Can't Be Measured by Veritasium. It's not actually 12 minutes from Mars. We actually cannot know for sure what the one-way speed of light is. I've read about that. I've read about that before, yeah. Could you provide a list of David Pakman's must-read favorite books, at least a few suggestions? You know, it's so difficult because I just read so much. But a few things I've read recently. Let's see. I recently read... I read Machines Like Us. Oh, wait, what's it called? It's by Ian McEwan. Hold on. Machines Like Me. Machines Like Me by Ian McEwan. Tremendous book. Absolutely tremendous book. I recently read the first of the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I recently read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. It's good. It's a very quick read. That's fiction from the standpoint of fiction. Nonfiction, I'm reading Methland right now. I recently read Homicide by David Simon. Both are kind of narrative, nonfiction, investigative type books. Both very good. Read some good personal finance recently. I recently read Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance, and I'm going to try to get J.D. on the program. It would be very interesting to have him on the show. Did I hear Rush Limbaugh died yesterday? I didn't hear that. No, I didn't hear that. I'm going to have to... How could I have missed that? Really shocking. Did I see where Lindsey Graham said Lara Trump was the future of the Republican Party? I didn't. Let's see if I can find that. Graham, Lara Trump, future.
And we can't let that ever happen again. Senator, is Governor Haley wrong about Donald Trump's future in the Republican Party?
Yeah, Donald Trump is the most vibrant member of the Republican Party. The Trump movement is alive and well. People believe that he brought change to Washington. Policy-wise, it was long overdue. All I can say is that the most potent force in the Republican Party is President Trump. We need Trump plus. And at the end of the day, I've been involved in politics for over 25 years. The president is a handful, and what happened on January the 6th was terrible for the country. But
he's a handful. Talking like he's a kid, you have to manage.
Not singularly to blame. Democrats have sat on the sidelines and watched the country be burned down for a year.
Democrats were partially to blame for January 6th.
Year and a half and hadn't said a damn word. And most Republicans are tired of the hypocrisy. So, no, Nikki's wrong about President Trump. North Carolina, the biggest winner, I think, of this whole impeachment trial is Lara Trump. My dear friend Richard Burr, who I like and have been friends to a long time, just made Lara Trump almost a certain nominee for the Senate seat in North Carolina to replace him if she runs. And I'll certainly be behind her because I think she represents the future of the Republican Party.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty vile. Thanks for calling that to my attention. That's highly, highly weaponized, extremely weaponized. Scary. To the guy who liked the Veritasium video, try PBS Spacetime, The Origin of Mass and Time. It will change your life. David D. spins continuously. See what I did there? Okay. All right. Very, very good. We actually are on the precipice of 2 milestones today. Not only are we 47 minutes from the landing of the Mars Perseverance rover on Mars, we are only 86 Twitch followers away from 80,000. Can you imagine 2 major milestones coming together on exactly the same day? Shocking, shocking stuff. Did it touch done yet? And all these Republicans, beside the good ones like Hogan, need to get voting out. Right. No, it didn't touch down yet. We are standing by for touchdown, down to 46 minutes from touchdown. We are now 6,600 miles from the landing site. I think I'm able to rotate this, I've been told. Yes, look at that. I'm rotating the rover. It is soon going to despin. Boy, this website is laggy. 6,500 miles from the landing site, 4,600 miles of elevation, traveling at about 8,000 miles per hour. A touchdown is in 46 minutes, and we will enter the despin phase in only 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So a lot happening, and it is all happening before our eyes. Very exciting. This is Mission Control. And that is it. That is it. We are about to enter the no spin zone. Trish says time to move out of North Carolina. Yeah, if Lara Trump is the senator, that's not going to be a great place to be. That's for sure. I would be really looking strongly, as the kids these days say, at moving out of North Carolina. No question about it. All right, let's listen to the coverage.
Thing we've ever sent into space.
Now, this is a very complicated campaign. Can you break down for us how it's going to work and if there's any international partners working with us?
You are correct. The
We want
Mars
HD.
sample return campaign is incredibly complex. In fact, it's probably the most challenging thing we've ever tried to do. But we're definitely not going to try and do it alone. We have great partners with the European Space Agency. And the way this campaign is going to work, well, Perseverance is the first step. Chapter 1 is going to Mars and collecting the samples. Chapter 2 is going to be a sample return lander that we hope to launch in around 2026 to 2028. And that lander, it'll be an American lander carrying a fetch rover that's provided by European Space Agency. And that little fetch rover will drive out and pick up the samples that Perseverance left on the surface of Mars. And the fetch rover will bring them back and load them into a rocket that we call the Mars Ascent Vehicle, which will be the first ever launch from another planet. And it will launch those samples into orbit around Mars. In the meantime, European Space Agency will have an orbiter that's in orbit.
That's funny. People are asking for a countdown to 80,000 Twitch subs as well. We actually can do that. YouTube got rid of the live follower count in the sense that it only updates every 1,000, or now that we're over 1 million, only every 10,000. But we have a live Twitch follower count. We are counting down to the Perseverance rover on Mars, and we are counting down to 80,000 followers on Twitch. Extraordinarily exciting, and something that we can control in real time and observe in real time. No light speed delay the way we have with the Perseverance rover. Very, very exciting stuff. People telling me also to make sure not to miss the separation. Yes, we are down to a, hold on, despin. Yeah, despin in 27 minutes, landing in 43. I'm guessing that the NASA feed is going to have that live as well. We've got a lot going on there. But yes, tracking our way. Oh, people unfollowing on Twitch. Disaster. Oh my God. We should get away from this because that's what. Imagine if we lose followers on Twitch because I put it up on screen. That would be really, really embarrassing. Wowza. That's not good. We need to activate the follow bots. Exactly. It's time. It's time. Otherwise, we're going to get humiliated out of here. Don't forget that we gave out an award that was named after a Nazi, Werner von Braun, for Operation Paperclip. All right, I will not forget that. Hal says, just what do you think you're doing, Dave? Dave, I really think I'm entitled to an answer to that question. All right, Arthur C. Clarke, Stanley Kubrick humor. Hopefully the wind turbines on Mars don't crap out or this could be a disaster. Yeah, fair point. Gordon says Hogan, governor of Maryland, is a good reputation governor. Yeah, his reputation is not bad. That's true. That's absolutely true. No doubt about it. We just got a massive dump of followers on Twitch, so we are now down to the last 46. Look at that. We are down to the last 46. What will happen first? The rover lands or we get to 80,000 followers on Twitch? That's a really good question. I don't know. The way things are going, it's anybody's guess. But we are, in all seriousness, about to witness history. 25 minutes from the D-spin of the Perseverance rover, 41 minutes from touchdown, now down to its last 4,000 miles of altitude above the Martian surface. And, yeah. What can we say? It is just an incredible, incredible day. And tension building at JPL in California. We are continuing to get coverage. Let's take a listen.
Team to the launch Cruz team. You've done everything we've asked for, right? I mean, you've battled anomalies, you've dealt with Cepheids, you've done everything. You delivered a healthy spacecraft to the place that we want to go. And she's right on target, right? You did the last maneuver literally 2 months ago, right? This is pretty incredible, in my opinion. And she's armed with the right information to help us land. Doing the parameter update last night, we're ready to roll. You've done everything right. And you've put up with us too, right? You've put up with our eccentricities and the things we like to do in EDL land. So I very much appreciate that.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have touchdown in the sense that we are now at 80,000 Twitch followers. We have achieved it. And we were not to be held back by the speed of light. We were not to be held back by what I call unfollow trolls. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We did it, and we have breached 80,000 Twitch followers. I see people quickly unsubscribing to try to get it down below 80,000, but I'm going to click away from it. We did it, and that is all that matters. We got to 80,000, now on to 100,000 Twitch followers. Very, very exciting. David, do you support the Artemis program? Did you hear about Joe Biden supporting the program? Can you do more space videos? I forget which one the Artemis program is. Let me look that up. NASA will land the first woman and next man on the moon by 2024 using innovative technologies. Yeah, I do. I think that even though we've been to the moon, going back makes sense because we can learn. When we went to the moon, technology was nowhere near what it is today. And the opportunity to test these new technologies somewhere so close, I think is a great thing to be doing. Some people are so lame. They say, we've been to the moon. Why go back to the moon? Give me a break, guys. Come on. Absolutely, it makes sense. David, I heard Ted Cruz was seen on the flight to Mars. Apparently, he was just escorting the astronauts. Yeah, he's going to be right back. He's not really leaving Texas when they are in such rough situations. Read on Twitter about Cruz, the guy worried about Mexicans coming into our country to seek a better life is fleeing to Mexico to seek a better life. That's funny. I tweeted something similar to that. Here's Ted Cruz, by the way. I had a similar notion, but I worded it differently. Ted Cruz is part of the party based on claiming Mexicans want to flee Mexico for the U.S., and he is literally fleeing the U.S. to Mexico to get away from power outages. Same idea. Can I briefly explain why Republicans are so hypocritical to compare the damages of the protests last summer in comparison to the insurrection. These things have nothing to do with each other. The insurrection was a singular event incited by the president over a lie that he weaponized. Okay? The violence that we saw, the main point of Trump inspired violence, and violence was the main point of it. What happened last summer, I'm against any violence and destruction of property, but what happened last summer was you had disproportionately bad faith actors who were not actually trying to make any political point, taking advantage of protests over a legitimate issue, not incited by a leader over a lie. Listen, if you don't understand the difference, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm not saying that the super chatter doesn't understand. I'm saying if Republicans want to play dumb and pretend it's the same thing, then they're probably beyond help at this point in time. I don't understand why crazy Trump people just get over it, and it's probably because they're in a cult. And I guess you mean a cult? And the only way to get out, I don't know, they might need to get their brain to fix it. Who Trump again? Yes, absolutely. They are in a cult, that's for sure. David, what do Joe Biden think about you reaching 80,000 on Twitch? He is reportedly fine with it. Yeah, we did reach 80,000 followers on Twitch, and it continues to climb. And I think Joe Biden likes it. I think he does. We are now just 36 minutes from the landing of the Mars Perseverance rover and 20 minutes from the de-spin phase. At that point, we are probably going to go heavily into the NASA coverage, which we are standing by for. And it's going to be extraordinarily exciting to follow. Is the Space Force involved in this Mars landing? Oh, you know what? I actually have we have a Space Force song parody, which I can play for you. This is a good one. I don't believe Space Farce is part of this. Hold on. Where is my Space Force material? Here it is. This one's from Jethro Bradley. It's a good one.
Henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. The Galaxy.
From our president, a man who is actually in space right now.
Space Farce.
Space Farce.
Space Farce.
Guardians.
Space Farce.
Guardians. Operating in a vacuum.
Space Farce.
Guardians.
Space Farce.
Guardians. Operating in a vacuum. Space is a warfighting domain. When it comes to the outer reaches of space,
yep,
you are that strength. If you rise on the wings of the dawn, if you settle on the far side of the sea, even if you go up to the heavens,
What the hell?
that there, his hand will guide you, and his right hand will hold you fast to defend America and defend our freedom from space. Guardians. God bless our guardians.
Anyway, yeah, the answer is no. Space Farce not involved in today's landing, as far as I'm aware. Okay, other super chats. Have you seen the Wall Street Bets subreddit? Hilarious meme overload. I actually have been really enjoying some of the memes on the Bitcoin subreddit. What's one of my favorites? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. There are really so many. I think I liked this one. This was a good meme. Hold on a second.
Bitcoin's the only thing that doesn't go down. 51,000. Bitcoin's at fucking 51,000. It's at 11,000 in August. Jesus Christ.
What happens to all these wonderful models if 10 billionaires decide to buy $1 billion of Bitcoin each and announce we bought it, we're not ashamed of it, we're going to buy more? All your models are destroyed, completely devastated.
Anyway, this one I like, and then there was one other one. Hold on. Oh, I can't find it now. No, but there's so many. I am really. Oh, hold on. Here it is. This one I love. This may be my favorite. This is great.
Pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up, don't you know?
I could really watch these all day. I don't know what it is about them. I really could watch those all day. Okay, let's move on. Back to Super Chats. When will we see Trump again in a public fashion? I don't know. Even yesterday in his interviews, he called in. So I don't know when we will see him. Why aren't progressives as supportive of human exploration of the moon or Mars like you? I didn't know progressives weren't supportive of space exploration. Is that true? They must be, because the Republicans don't seem supportive of it. And somebody is. I don't know that I buy that premise. What are your thoughts on Biden's new DPAC Act? It limits coupon codes to a maximum of 30% off. Is this government overreach? Yeah, that's nanny state nonsense. I don't need the government telling me how big my coupon codes can be. I'll be the judge of how big my coupon codes can be. And if I want to offer something like Better 21, even though it exceeds 30% by disgusting amounts, I'll be the judge of that. And look at these people taking advantage of it. Matthias Marigard has just signed up at joinpacman.com using the coupon code. Matt Brown just signed up at joinpacman.com, putting us at 44. We also just got a drop-in of 20 more Twitch subscribers, putting us at 64. I'm talking people like Nerdies, The Real Evil Monkeys, Short Brief, Grim Reaper, Retox, Jarvis TKD, Connor, Sobe, K. McGregor, The Batch, all of these really great people coming in. I very much appreciate that. All right, we are getting really, really close to landing time. We are now down to the last 30 minutes until touchdown. D-spin is happening in under 15 minutes, and we are going to be watching these feeds. We have multiple feeds from NASA very closely. Let's listen.
Go flight. At this time, let's continue our briefing for the rest of EDL.
Sure. So after coming out of EDL start, that's our last real reinforcement of the state that the vehicle was in throughout much of Cruz and EDL approach. And it's our precursor to making many more radical changes to the state of the vehicle. Matt Wallace said it well the other day. EDL is kind of like a controlled disassembly of the vehicle.
Right.
As we go through, we need to get rid of the things we don't need anymore and get ready to put our wheels on the ground. So one of the final things that we're doing here is ensuring that our ACS knowledge is top-notch. We depend on ACS to pass an estimate of the vehicle's attitude and rate of change to EDL, and that's our starting point for propagating down to the ground. When we come up in the EDL prep anchor is when we'll take the last state from ACS, and we'll be propagating from that point to the ground until we get more knowledge from the radar once we turn it on. I can give a high-level overview of some of the events that are going to transpire throughout EDL. Of course, commentary will be detailing this as we go through, and you'll hear a lot of members of the EDL team calling out specific events as they occur and indicators as we see them. But to give everyone an idea of what we're going to see, we will first start shortly here. We'll get news that the vehicle has separated the cruise stage,
right.
Since we no longer need that. We need to prepare for entry into the atmosphere. After that, we will indeed start the entry process. At this point, we're depending on the heat shield to both protect the spacecraft and help slow us down. We'll be gathering data from our Medley sensors, and we'll be decelerating rapidly at that point. As we make our way through the atmosphere, we'll be firing our DRCS thrusters that poke out the back of the back shell, and this will allow us to steer our trajectory as we make our way through the atmosphere. This is one of the things that allowed MSL, the Curiosity rover, to land where it did. And we're depending on the same type of entry guidance this time around to help get us very close to our target. As we make our way through entry, finish our guided entry profile, we'll do a maneuver called heading alignment, where we point toward the target and get ready to deploy the parachute. But before we deploy the parachute, we need to get rid of a set of balance masses that have been giving us a center of gravity, or CG offset, throughout the guided entry phase. So these are called the
So this is sort of a media briefing on the NASA Clean feed. We also have the kind of more produced feed. Let's listen to what's going on here.
Deploy the parachute, but before
Same thing.
we deploy the parachute, we need to get rid of a set of balance masses that have been giving us a center of gravity, or CG offset, throughout the guided entry phase. So these are called the entry balance masses. We also call this maneuver SUFR, S-U-F-R, or straighten up and fly right. So we'll go ahead and eject those masses when we get a trigger from the GNC system telling us that we're at the appropriate range to the target to do so. As soon as we deploy those, we will no longer have a CG offset, and we'll be ready to deploy the parachute 17 seconds later.
I would encourage them to keep the CG offset just a little longer than they're planning on it. They probably know more than I do. I don't know. I do want to say thank you to Patrick O'Neill for signing up at joinpacman.com. Thanks to Xander Enslin for signing up. Thanks to Matt Walker, who's our newest member, and also Sandra Shell, all of whom signed up at joinpacman.com. We are really getting down to the end here, my friends. We are now down to 24 minutes to touchdown and 9 minutes from D-spin. 24 minutes to touchdown, 9 minutes from D-spin, down to its last 1,900 miles of elevation, of altitude, and 3,500 miles from the landing site. Sort of like, you know, Europe to the east coast of the United States, one could say. And we are watching NASA coverage, and we are getting excitingly close. Ozzy says it's weird hearing them talk about EDL since the English Defense League is a pretty nasty far-right group in the U.S. Yeah. I should do a once-a-week space news segment. That's an idea. Jonathan says, no, I'm sure progressives do support human exploration, but what I meant was they don't voice it as much as you, or they don't seem as excited. That you'd have to ask them. Very exciting stuff. From my perspective. Thanks to Megawatt for signing up via Twitch, as well as Koi Rai, Grim Reaper, and I think that's it. 3 folks, which I very much appreciate. We are in the within 10 minutes of the D-spin phase, and it looks like what they're talking about now.
It really doesn't. Why is it still so difficult?
Well, it's because it's involved thousands and thousands of things, hundreds of thousands of lines of code. There's 79 pyrotechnic devices. Each have to work perfectly. One critical wire short, or one key thing mechanism that doesn't work or breaks, and it's mission over. And so it's, you know, and it's very
love the
easy.
peanuts
We're human
here.
beings. We're not perfect. Mistakes can be made. We count on each other to find our own mistakes, and we work very hard to learn from the mistakes of the past. We've had many failures. Remind people, roughly half, around half of the missions to Mars over history have failed. And so that could happen today too. Even though we've had a nice, wonderful string of successes in the United States, it's still still a bit of a gamble that we have hoped that we have erred in the side of luck, and we've stacked the deck and loaded the dice to make this thing succeed.
Loaded dice.
But if we do fail, and something bad happens today, I can tell you, we're going to learn it. We'll have the data that tell us what happened. We'll know why. We'll figure it out. And if we are allowed, we will pick ourselves up and get us back on the horse. And if Congress and NASA allow, we will try again. As we always do, we will learn from our mistakes.
Right.
And what are the possible scenarios we could be looking at today?
Well, there's things like one of the key stressful elements for all of us is parachute inflation. But just even separating from the cruise stage is a pretty major event. Lots of devices have to work properly. Certainly, the heat shield separation, getting the descent engine started. There's no less than 16 rocket motors that have to work. 8 to control during entry, another 8 to control it during landing. I said it's a lot of stuff, and it all has to work. And guess what? We haven't done this before with this vehicle ever. This is its first attempt to actually land. We can't try this on Earth. We can't do. We don't have test pilots to try it out on this planet before the big show. So this vehicle is doing it for the first time. We've done the best testing we can do in bits and pieces, but it's as best as we could do. But I think our team is up to it. This team is the best. It's a diverse, intelligent, amazing group of people. People from all over the world who worked on this, not just here in California, but all over NASA, contributors from aerospace, universities, countries around the world. It is just an incredible, remarkable engineering achievement. And I am just so proud of this team.
Thanks, Rob. Now, let's listen back into mission control.
Flight, we're about 14 minutes from entry interface. The vehicle is currently preparing the heat rejection system that has kept the thermal system cool inside the air shell for about the last 6 months. This will allow the spacecraft to more easily cut the line in upcoming cruise stage separation, which is under 4 minutes now.
It's happening. That's this they are talking about, I believe, the D-spin.
We have now enabled the Rover Pyro bus.
That's the pyrotechnic system that was.
We're powering off the cruise stage devices.
And these are the things in the cruise stage that we no longer need. With the pyrotechnic system working, we can explode the device.
If you're just joining us, we are now a full just 20 minutes from landing, 19 and a half minutes, 4 minutes from the D-spin that takes place before the actual sort of like approach phase happens. I do want to say thanks to Travis Kitlitz for signing up at joinpacman.com. Your new member number 72 today. Also want to say thanks to Pamela Goodman, The Real Paco, and Scarlet Charlie for signing up via Twitch, number 73, 74, and 75. Tim Crit wants to know if I'd consider taking a trip to Mars if we managed to build a Mars colony. I would, as long as it was a short trip. No question whatsoever. We are now within the 3-minute mark of the D-spin.
Anchor is complete. Yes. We will see the next anchor in approximately 3 minutes.
This guy's very excited.
Okay.
We are currently 12 and a half minutes from entry interface. We are coming upon cruise stage separation in 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Wow.
What's happening now, Rob?
Okay, well, we're just waiting. The rover is completely in charge. It's doing all the things we've taught it how to do.
I think Rob's too excited for this.
We've tested it over and over and over again. This team has spent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, testing this thing for years, and so this is really the culmination of all that work. So this vehicle is getting ready to push that cruise stage away. Once it gets pushed away, the entry system with the rover inside, with the rover still in charge, is going to get ready to take the vehicle, turn it to the right orientation, and aim it to Mars, and prepare for entering the atmosphere.
Wow. What a day.
This won't be long. Be prepared for this event.
We're about a minute and a half from cruise stage separation, about 11 minutes, 20 seconds from entry interface.
Wow.
Okay, so it's about 10 minutes from cruise stage separation till entering the top of the atmosphere. From then on and out, things happen
We're
fast.
switching to MFSK tones. Telemetry will have stopped.
Telecom is confirming that the spacecraft has switched to broadcasting tones. These tones are received directly from Perseverance, but have very limited information content. We won't receive real-time information until about 9-10 minutes from now, once the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter starts relaying information from Perseverance. We are under a minute from cruise stage separation, about 10.5 minutes from entry interface.
1 minute from separation now.
It's getting exciting. I have to admit, I am quite anxious, but very hopeful that this machine is going to do what we asked it to do.
We're seeing the heartbeat tones.
Okay, that means that there's no more ones and zeros coming. It's just the vehicle telling us it's still alive.
We're at tones. Hopefully auspicious. T. Kitlet says, I just joined. The coupon code is crazy. I think it guaranteed the successful rover landing. Can you confirm? I absolutely hope so. And thanks to Dean Tackett for signing up on my website as well. Dean, what a perfectly timed new membership. D-spin should now be happening. Cruise stage separation apparently taking place.
We have indication that cruise stage separation has been confirmed by the spacecraft.
There it is. Wow.
Good start.
In about 1 minute, Perseverance's landing software will wake up and begin the final preparations for entry. The first action it will do is to fire warm-up pulses with its entry thrusters. These pulses ensure that the spacecraft gets the thrust that it wants during entry interface. We're about 9 minutes from entry interface.
As you guys can tell, this app is not exactly synced with the video.
So now the vehicle's on its own. It's turning itself into the direction of facing the heat shield toward Mars, and will eventually hitting the top of the atmosphere. We're not far away. This is going to go very quickly from here on out.
Wow, it's happening, friends. It's happening. They are ejecting masses.
That's confirmation that we got shadowed by the cruise stage as it passed through our beam to the Earth.
Telecom indicated actually that we could see a signal that the cruise stage went between the Perseverance entry capsule and Earth. So we saw a little blip, the data stream indicating the cruise stage separation. We have confirmation that the vehicle has started warming up those entry thrusters. Warm-up pulses have begun.
Very strong pulses happening. We're about 8.5 minutes from atmospheric entry.
At this point, the spacecraft is trying to stop its spin from the cruise 2 revolutions per minute down to 0, and then will turn to its desired orientation from entry. It will separate the 2 balance masses that has kept it balanced during all of cruise. This will allow the entry capsule to have lift when it enters the atmosphere. We have confirmation that the spacecraft has turned to the desired entry attitude. We are about 7.5 minutes from entry interface.
What a day.
The vehicle is pointed in the right direction. The thrusters are warmed up and doing their job. And now we've spun down from the 2 revolutions per minute that the vehicle had the whole way to Mars. It was a spin-stabilized spacecraft. And then from here on out, it's going to just be a bullet, and it's going to control its orientation and attitude via rockets on the back of that back shell.
Points carrier lock. The DTE from Radio Science from Green Bank reports carrier lock. You see the carrier on the downlink.
Flight level 1.
We are continuing to wait for entry interface. We're about 6 minutes and 45 seconds from entry interface. We have confirmation from Greenback that they are receiving direct-to-Earth telemetry via that path.
Nice.
The spacecraft Perseverance is currently transmitting heartbeat tones. These tones indicate that Perseverance is operating normally and has nothing significant to report.
That's good.
As expected. We're currently just over 6 minutes from entry interface.
Okay, and now we wait. As soon as we get to the top of the atmosphere, it will be very quickly, which is the entry point. It won't be very long before the atmosphere will start getting thicker and thicker. It's going very quickly at a fairly steep angle of 15 degrees into the atmosphere, and as it starts to slow down.
We're just under, we're about 5.5 minutes from entry interface. We're still receiving heartbeat tones. We expect to continue receiving heartbeat tones until about 5 minutes after entry. At that time, Perseverance will be no longer in view of our antennas here on Earth. About 90 seconds prior to entry, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should begin receiving telemetry from Perseverance and streaming it to Earth in near real time. There are a few expected short outages, such as when we have a plasma blackout or when we enter the peak heating phase. Aside from these outages caused by the plasma blackout, antenna switching, or high dynamic events, spacecraft events, we should have telemetry until about 90 seconds after landing. A plasma blackout is when the signal from Perseverance isn't strong enough to make it through the superheated, super fast air flowing around the spacecraft all the way down to Earth. Once the temperature drops below that peak heating, we do reacquire the signal from Perseverance. We are currently about 4.5 minutes from entry interface.
Right.
Perseverance continues to report heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
Okay, what we're looking for now is Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should be in view soon of our vehicle and be able to listen to ones and zeros coming from a separate radio that's really designed to talk between spacecraft.
MRO reports the electro radio is powered on, ready to receive signals from the lander.
There it is.
MRO is ready and able and waiting for to hear from our rover.
Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has reported that it's ready to receive the signals from Perseverance. It should be in a few minutes here. We're just
Flight level 1
from entry interface.
We don't need these ones and zeros, as Swati said, but to land safely, but we really need it for our own health and well-being today to keep our nerves under control.
Around this time, a second spacecraft, Maven, should begin picking up telemetry from Perseverance and will continue to record that telemetry until several minutes post-landing. We won't get that data for several hours after landing as it's being recorded and then will be forwarded to Earth later. We are continuing to receive heartbeat tones, indicating that everything is nominal. We're currently at about 3 minutes until entry interface.
Wow.
Okay. Very soon we'll be getting ones and zeros, I hope, from our radio on the rover.
Thanks to Grant Turner for the membership. Appreciate it, Grant.
The entry interface is nothing more than just an arbitrary place in the sky that we've defined to be above the atmosphere. But from that point on, there's definitely atmosphere, and above it there isn't.
We are 2 minutes from entry interface. Perseverance is to transmit heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
So the tones can tell us whether something's bad or not is happening. So far the heartbeat is doing well. So the vehicle thinks it's in good shape to land, which is a great sign.
We're just under 2 minutes from entry interface. as it gets closer to Mars, Perseverance is actually being pulled in by gravity and accelerating. By the time Perseverance reaches entry interface point, she should be going just under 5.4 kilometers per second. We're at about 90 seconds from entry interface and standing by for Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter to pick up the telemetry.
Right. Down really to the wire here.
We are 1 minute from entry interface.
They may find the 11,780 votes on Mars. They may be there. Under a rock or something.
MROs are in receive mode.
We have confirmation that the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is now relaying data from Perseverance. We're about 30 seconds from entry interface. Perseverance is going about 5.2 kilometers per second and is about 190 kilometers altitude above the surface of Mars.
Confirm your jet data flow.
We have data flow.
About seconds from entry interface. 5.3 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 150 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have confirmation of entry interface.
It's in the atmosphere.
It's going 5.3 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 120 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
The rover has made it to Martian atmosphere. It is now within and controlled by, subject to Martian gravity.
Waiting until it begins feeling the atmosphere of Mars slow it down. Once there is enough atmosphere, it will start controlling its path to the landing target. Navigation is also confirming that we can see a little bit of that slowdown of the atmosphere on the Perseverance entry capsule.
Right.
Our current velocity is about 5.36 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 67 kilometers from the surface.
We are probably seeing MRO plasma blackout at this point.
We have a plasma blackout. Or plasma, you know. The chute will soon be deploying.
Right now.
MRO has lost log.
Perseverance. We have indications that Perseverance is now performing bank reversals in the atmosphere. These are the steps in order to control its distance to the landing target. Perseverance has just passed through the point of maximum deceleration and has indicated that it felt approximately 10 Earth Gs of deceleration.
Wow.
MRO has lock again.
Yes. 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 Yes.
We saw a small outage of the UHF telemetry from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter during that peak heating phase, likely caused by the plasma blackout. Perseverance is still continuing to perform bank reversals.
I know people are ruining the party by saying that with the many-minute delay because of the speed of light between Mars, that this is probably already over. We're getting the data now, so we're experiencing it now, guys. That's what matters.
Perseverance is going about 1 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 16 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have entered heading alignment, which means Perseverance is no longer trying to control the distance to Mars, but to the target on Mars, but instead is flying straight to the target.
And velocity has slowed down dramatically just in the last minute, going from Mach 12 to Mach 4, as you can see in the bottom middle there.
Parachute.
Now down to Mach 2.7, continuing to slow down. Chute not yet deployed, though, right? They will tell us when the chute is deployed, I'm sure.
Current velocity is about 550 meters per second at an altitude of about 15 kilometers from the surface.
MRO's reporting good telemetry log.
We are coming upon the straighten up. We are starting the straighten up and fly right maneuver, where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses.
There it is.
In preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground.
People telling me it's been deployed. It hasn't. As we've received the data.
The navigation has confirmed that the parachute has deployed and
Parachute's open.
Deceleration in the velocity. Our current velocity is 440 meters per second at an altitude of about 12 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
The chute is out.
Perseverance is now slowed to subsonic speeds, and the heat shield has been separated.
Under Mach 1.
Both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface.
Wow. This is it. They've confirmed it. Mars is spherical. It's not flat.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Perseverance now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second, 6.6 kilometers of the surface.
Very close. Last 6 kilometers. Amazing what Wall Street Bets has been able to do.
Perseverance is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization of terrain relative navigation and subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers.
People pointing out that that's not live video. We know. We know.
We have confirmation that the lander vision system has produced a valid solution and part of terrain relative navigation.
It's finding the spot. That's what that means.
We have priming of the landing engines. Current velocity is 83 meters per second at about 2.6 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have confirmation that the back shell has separated. We are currently performing the divert maneuver. Current velocity is about 75 meters per second at an altitude of about a kilometer off the surface of Mars.
1 kilometer.
Here in Safety Bravo.
We have completed our terrain relative navigation. Current speed is about 30 meters per second, altitude of about 300 meters
Wow.
off the surface of Mars.
That means we're 10 seconds away. 300 divided by 30. Yeah, that's 10.
We have started our constant velocity accordion, which means we are conducting the sky crane, about to conduct the sky crane maneuver.
We've lost direct to Earth tones.
Tones are gone.
As expected. As expected.
Sky crane maneuver has started. About 20 meters
Wow.
off the surface.
20 meters. Are we down? I think we're down.
MRO.
UHF is good.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance
They're down.
on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the sands of past life.
Wow. They did it, folks.
At this point, the descent stage has flown away to a safe distance. Perseverance is continuing to transmit direct
What a day.
Mars orbiter to Earth.
All reports, they're still getting telemetry from the lander.
An 8-month voyage, roughly, ending exactly as scheduled.
We got it.
Touchdown confirmed. We're going to wait for the images.
And soon we should have imagery.
So exciting. The team is beside themselves. It's so surreal. Stay tuned. We might get some pictures.
Great.
Pictures potentially just a few minutes away. HD video probably tomorrow, I think.
So much has been riding on this.
And the coronavirus now has gone.
Just heard the news that
orbital.
Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars.
It's not
Flight, we have seen the completion of EDL 3000. Copy activity. That is as expected.
All right, folks, they did it.
Strong signal from the lander.
Okay, all right, I know. Just the start of the mission, of course.
We have just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars. Congratulations to the mission. And looks like we have some more news in. It looks like we're getting the first image.
First pictures.
Here, take a look at the first image.
Flight, this is OL3. I have the target point on the map when you are ready. We are ready, OL3. Go for it.
Is this it? Is this the landing shot? What they saw coming down?
Flight, I'll be moving in, showing you the safe zone that we've landed in.
There it is.
The first image from Perseverance on the surface of Mars. Now, it comes from the engineering cameras, known as the hazard camera. This camera is mainly used to help the rover drive safely around Mars.
Not exactly 4K.
Higher resolution photos later in the day.
Right. But there it is.
This is amazing.
Thanks to Liz and Greg for the memberships. I see you guys. I appreciate it. The first images coming in from Mars already.
Steve, stand by for Steve.
Standing by for Steve.
You did it. You did it. You did. You led the team. You made it happen. Congratulations, Jordan.
What a day. Are we anticipating more pictures? Do we know?
We just got our second image in.
Oh, another picture.
Our second image is in.
Okay, these we have a camera in the front and rear of the spacecraft. They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. You can see the wheels there, and they're a little dirty because we've got glass covers over these cameras. But we took these seconds after landing, so there's still dust in the air from our landing event. So this is happening. This happened just seconds ago. Just arrived, and this is really amazing. And we even know where we landed. This is the most amazing thing. The vehicle has told us where it's landed because it figured it out. You know, this is a sign. NASA works. NASA works. And when we put our arms together and our hands together and our brains together, we can succeed. This is what NASA does. This is what we can do as a country.
Right.
On all of the problems we have, we need to work together to do these kinds of things and make success happen.
2 pictures now coming in. Landing taking place about 10 minutes ago. This is the Perseverance rover.
Now is the acting administrator of NASA, Steve Jurczyk. Steve, welcome and congratulations.
Hey, thank you. What an amazing day.
How does it feel to have another rover on Mars?
It's amazing to have Perseverance join Curiosity on Mars, and what just a credit to the team. I mean, just what an amazing team to work through all the adversity that goes and all the challenges that go with landing a rover on Mars, plus the challenges of COVID, and just an amazing accomplishment.
And what does this mean for NASA and its future plans?
So for robotic exploration, every time we execute a mission with new instruments, we discover new things and things we never thought we would discover. So,
hey, we'll get back to this. By the way, just as a joke, I tweeted an obvious joke of a tweet. You've got to see how triggered some people are by this. I tweeted, Joe Biden has only been president a few weeks and he already got us to Mars. Incredible. Obviously, I'm kidding, but some of these responses are pretty funny. I think he invented space. Greatest president ever. Space Force bitches. Okay, that's interesting. Are you joking or being serious? Just in case, this is me explaining. This mission was launched like in July. Come on, guys, I know. Launched 7 months ago under Trump, though. Are we actually giving him credit for this, or is this sarcasm? I'm confused. Anyway, yeah, it's obviously a joke, guys. I'm just kidding around. Just a joke.
it's going to give us properties, size and properties of dust particles, because when we send people, we're going to have to deal with that dust. This is just an incredible mission because of the science and the technology, and then caching samples for a Mars sample return mission. That will be an amazing mission, the first round trip to Mars and back, and bringing those samples cached by Perseverance back to Earth to examine with state-of-the-art equipment in our laboratories here on Earth.
We have so much to look forward to. And we also have a student question coming in from Landon.
All right, guys, we did it. It's been a long day. This was already the second stream, so we are going to wrap our coverage here. But I really appreciate everybody who joined me, everybody who helped us get to 80,000 followers on Twitch. And we have so much more to come. Thanks, everybody. Great to be here with all of you. Make sure you're following on Twitch and subscribed for free on YouTube so you'll be notified of future streams. Everybody take care. And new clips publishing now on YouTube.